Today is December 27th, 2024. I was just doing some early morning reading again. What I do is I just take my book, kind of open it up to whatever I feel. I do a little bit of prayer first. Our Father, Hail Mary, Glory Be, a couple other prayers. Just ask Holy Spirit to help me when I open up my book to see what my messages are for the day. So I opened up the book to a couple readings this morning, read for a little bit. I like the readings that I had for today. They were really interesting. So I had two Psalms, Psalm 58 and Psalm 82. That I started at the beginning, and at the end as well. And they both have to do with judgment, perhaps judgment against other people. So Psalm 58 is against unjust judges, and Psalm 82 is judgment against wicked judges. So I'm not sure what exactly the total message is from both of those, but it does seem to be just overall the message is that these are psalms about judging people and creating wicked actions against people based on your judgments or perception of them. And so the other readings were also Exodus 4, chapter 4. I really liked this one because it was about the prophet Moses and how he has a discussion with God. And, it shows Moses's weaknesses. So, Moses says, I don't want to return to Egypt. And God is like, why won't you return and deliver these messages for me, Moses? And Moses says, I got a speech impediment, God. He has a stuttering issue. Moses is a slow speaker as well, just kind of like me as well. And so he's very reluctant to give any kind of messages at all. And so God reveals to Moses that he's going to help him. First, he's going to show miracles through Moses, through the use of his staff and through his hand as well, showing leprosy on the hand. And then when Moses returns the hand back to his chest, the leprosy goes away. But then also in the second part of this, he says, I'm going to give you an assistant. So he talks about Aaron, his brother, who is a much better speaker. And so what we find out is that it's really almost like a trinity of three that's going to deliver God's message to the people. And God will deliver the message, the inspirational message to Moses. Moses then transcribes the message, sends it over to Aaron, relays that message over to Aaron, and then Aaron will be the one who is more eloquent in his speech that will be able to relay what Moses has to say. Mm-hmm. So I find that part very interesting. I like that story a lot about how Moses has a weakness. We always think of Moses as the strong prophet on the mountain, and he wasn't like that at all. I think he had a lot of confidence issues, possibly some insecurities. And then also he did have a speech impediment from his youth, so stuttering, which usually is a result of some kind of trauma that he went through as a child. So I'm curious to see what his life was like prior to becoming a prophet. So in this one we see Exodus 4, chapter 4. It's about the prophet's delay to carry out the message of God, but he finally decides to return back to Egypt. And then in the next passage, we also have Saul's sacrifice. So 1 Samuel 13, which is also about a prophet's delay. It's Samuel, though, this time that's delaying. And Saul is waiting and waiting and waiting for Samuel to show up because he's fighting the Philistines. And he finally decides, well, I have to keep these people together. So he offers up a Holocaust sacrifice. And then Samuel shows up and then tells him, because you did that, God is going to raise up David to replace Saul. So both of these passages are about prophets that are delaying their actions and carrying out the mission of God. So I found that kind of interesting. And then again, we go to Esther 7, which is, in previous readings, we had looked at Esther 6, which was the reward of Mordecai from the king, right? But in Esther 7, we see the judgment of Haman, kind of. So Esther is granted one wish. She can have one wish from King Ahasuerus, and she can have anything that she wants, and she wishes that, God would protect, that the king and God would protect her people and protect herself from the wicked and evil judgments of Haman, who had carried out a lot of bad acts against her and her people. So overall, I think the message for today from these readings was that, two parts. First, there's the judgment of people and their unjust and wicked judgment of others. And then also the second part is that, we see that the prophets are delaying their actions for whatever reason. We don't really know why Samuel delays his action to go to Saul's sacrifice against the Philistines. But we also see that, there's kind of a delay in Esther too, that she doesn't want to speak out against Haman, but she does want her wish granted, that her people will be protected. And then we have Moses who's delaying too. It's like that saying, they're all going to laugh at you, right? So they're all, in Moses's case, he's got a speech impediment. He's got a lot of reasons. He's like, I'm a slow speaker. I really don't want to be up there, but everyone's going to make fun of me. And it's true. I feel that way too, sometimes even just releasing this message that people are just going to kind of laugh at this or make fun of it and poke fun at the way that I speak, or a word that I mispronounce, or my spelling, or my grammar, or my writings, or whatever. So one of the things that people are most afraid of more than anything else is public speaking. So it's even more fearful of a situation than death, for some. So yeah. So I thought these stories were pretty interesting. How, it's two parts. It's the wicked, unjust judgment of these people, and then their delay in actually countering that and carrying out God's decisions. And that has a lot to do with the way that they've been judged in the past. So yeah, these were really good reads. I wanted to go over just like a few messages, maybe just read from Psalm 58 and Psalm 82, and I encourage you to read Exodus 4, chapter 4, and 1 Samuel 13, and Esther 7, which Esther 7 is a really great read. So is Exodus 4 and chapter 4. So from Psalm 58, we get against unjust judges, for the leader do not destroy a victim for David. Do you indeed like God's pronounced justice, and judge fairly, you men of rank? Nay, you willingly commit crimes on earth. You look for the fruits of extortion. From the womb the wicked are perverted. Astray from birth have the liars gone, like that of a stubborn snake that stops its ears, that it may not hear the voice of enchanters casting cunning spells. Yeah, so that's the kind of the first part of Psalm 58, against unjust judges. And ironically, Psalm 82, which I'll flip to real quick, also has a very similar title. And I just flipped through that. In the mornings, I just flip through my book to whatever message. I pray a little bit and then flip through my book to see what the message is. So here's the message from Psalm 82. Got my cell phone in the way. God arise in the divine assembly. He judges in the midst of the gods. How long will you judge unjustly and favor the cause of the wicked? Defend the lowly and the fatherless. Render justice to the afflicted and destitute. Rescue the lowly and the poor. From the land of the wicked, deliver them. Yeah, so those were the messages for today. So just again, Psalm 58, Exodus 4, chapter 4, 1 Samuel 13, Esther 7, and Psalm 82. It's December 27th, 2024. Thank you for listening.